Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and I am a collector and hoarder of makeup, and today you're gonna see my hoard of makeup. Alright, so I already did part 1, so I'll go ahead and put a card wherever it goes. I have not gotten the hang of that yet. Go ahead and watch part 1 because I did go through about 60 palettes of mine. I did declutter all of these in this basket, which I'm really proud of myself because I do have a problem of decluttering and getting rid of things. I kind of want to hold on to all the things that I have purchased and received ever in my life. So today I'm going to be working on the next set of eyeshadow palettes. So you can kind of see them behind me right here. And that is what I'm going to be working on. So if that sounds good to you and you watched part 1, then keep on watching. This is probably another one of those stacks where I will not be getting rid of anything due to 1, the sheer cost of these palettes, 2, they're all not really that old. This is my Pat McGrath collection. I mean, that's really all I have to say because I'm sure anyone who hears that is like, why are you going to get rid of that? These palettes are very expensive for what they are. It's not for what they are because the quality is fantastic and the shadows are phenomenal. Just the price point is pretty high. So I do have both of the Bridgerton collections. I did review this collection and this was the first one that was launched. This is what the palette looks like on the inside. You do have 6 different shades. If you would like to see a review on this palette, you can go ahead and click. Like I said, I don't know where it's gonna pop up, but I can put the video in the description and I can also just like put a card up there. I do tell you what I think of this collection. I love Bridgerton, which is why I got it, but I also like Pat McGrath products, which is the other reason why I purchased it. I will not be parting with this. I did buy the second palette with the intent to review it, but I received this around the same time we bought a house, so there was no time for filming then. But this is what the inside of this palette looks like. So they're kind of similar, but they're very complementary, so that way you could play with both at the same time. Maybe I'll film a video, like a shop my stash. I know a lot of people do those, and play with this palette. Now I have 5 mothership palettes. It's kind of hard to say out loud because these are very expensive. I will say that some of these I did purchase during a sale on Pat McGrath's website, so I did pay full price. I don't remember what I paid, but I know that in my house, including Sarah's Pat McGrath collection, we have all of them except for the newest one. So she bought some on sale as well, and that's like one of those products that we kind of share because they're just that fucking expensive. So I do have the Mothership 1 Subliminal eyeshadow palette, and I'll show you what it looks like. I am not going to be getting rid of any of these, but this is like the first Mothership palette right here. You got a lot of cool tones in here, and you have this beautiful blue metallic along with like this pinky red color, which looks like a duochrome. It's like a pink to purple red shift. Gorgeous. Like I said, I'm not going to be decluttering any of these products. I would be pretty fucking crazy. Like I mentioned in my last video, where I put my Tatcha Denona palettes, they were like on an acrylic shelf on the wall. That is also where my Pat McGrath palettes go. They don't go in a drawer. I display these bitches. So I'm kind of going in order here. But this is the second Mothership palette. I'll kind of show you the packaging as well. So this is the second one. I do keep them all in their boxes. And this one's a little bit more neutral, but it does have this beautiful green metallic up here. You can see why I got it. And just like my last video, this is not like me like showing off what I got. I am going through my makeup and decluttering. I collect and hoard makeup, and what I choose to purchase is like my business. So I know some people will talk about waste and stuff. I mean, am I really wasting it if I'm like hoarding it and keeping it forever? I enjoy collecting makeup. It's just something I like to play with makeup. I like to collect it. I like to display it. That's just who I am. So this is the Mothership 3. And so there's the packaging on this one. And this one's got some very nice dark tones in here too. I do like the grunge look. So after actually looking at this palette, I know for a fact I will be decluttering that ColourPop palette that I just got in that mystery box because I would rather play with this as a grunge look than my ColourPop palette. I mean, realistically. So then my collection kind of jumps. So I don't have the next 3, but Sarah does, and we're not going through her collection and decluttering. We're going through mine. So this is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2, and this is like the Mothership 8. And this was a Valentine's present that Keegan got me. I didn't even realize when I got it that this one actually had special packaging. This one's in the rose gold packaging. So now you can only buy it in the black packaging, but this is what this one looks like on the inside. It is absolutely stunning. This was my first Pat McGrath palette, by the way. So I went back and bought the previous ones, but that was my very first Pat McGrath palette. And then this is my most recent purchase when it comes to the Mothership palettes. And this is the Mothership 9. So this came out last year, and this one is just absolutely stunning. You got lots of beautiful purples up here, these duochromes, and of course some mattes to go with it. When I wear this makeup, like definitely like this is we're going out tonight, it's date night, or like when we've gone to the casino, I'm like, I'm bringing a Pat McGrath palette because I want to look like top level. But these are like my special occasion palettes. I don't wear them every day because I don't want them ruined. So I have an interesting little stack right here. So I have these palettes right here. I'm gonna start off with one that I'm obviously going to keep because unfortunately, Tati Beauty only came out with one palette. So I was really excited for this brand. I really do enjoy watching Tati Westbrook's content. I think she gives great makeup advice. I think she has great taste in makeup. She's one of those influencers that you really can trust when it comes to testing products. And so I do have her palette right here. I will not be getting rid of this because this is a stunning palette. I love the concept where you have 6 different shades in 4 different finishes. Like that concept just blows my mind. I love it. I did watch her video where she talked about like what volume 2 was gonna look like. And I saw on like Facebook makeup groups that people went on Mercari and bought it, and it's just like, that's kind of disgusting. You've got no soul. Ugh, sorry. But it was a beautiful concept, and I really hope that one day she can relaunch Tati Beauty because I will definitely be there to buy her products. Gorgeous palette. I'm sure if you have it, you're in the same, you're like, nope, not getting rid of it. I love it. So next up we have the Jaclyn Cosmetics Strawberry Feels palette. Did I review this one? I can't remember. If I did, I will go ahead and put a card up below. I think I did, or up below. Up below, that's funny. I'll put something here, or I'll put like a link in the description. But this is the Strawberry Feels palette. I really like this palette. I was very surprised by it. So I will be keeping this, and I'm actually really excited to start using this during the holidays. So I've now got 2 palettes from Dominique Cosmetics. One is definitely from a BoxyCharm. And this is what it is. And this is like a miniature version of a bigger palette that Dominique Cosmetics has come out with. This is gonna go into the maybe pile because I really like the color story. And it looks like I've tried to play with it a few times, but obviously if I don't remember, it didn't blow my mind. So I'm gonna put this aside in my maybe pile. And then the next one we got, I believe I've received in a Trend Mood box. So this is a 6-pan little miniature palette right here. And this is called, it is the Now or Never Pressed Pigment palette. So super tiny, but this is it right here. I kind of want to do a side-by-side comparison. It's got some similar colors that little ColourPop mini one I picked out that I have in my collection that I showed in part 1 of this video. This is also a maybe, so I'll think about it. I like the bright pinks, but I've had it for a while and I still haven't used it, so that does say a lot. The next palette I have is from Trixie Cosmetics, and it is Plant Gay. And this palette is absolutely gorgeous, and they've got greens and the pinks. I will be keeping this palette. This next palette, I really want to give it a shot. I don't know why it ended up in this pile, because it's not like, this is an indie brand. So maybe I'll start doing some indie makeup next. This is the Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. Everybody loves this palette, and I can't seem to get it to work for me. So it's really disappointing. It has some really beautiful tones in here. So I'm gonna give it another shot. But if I give it another shot and it doesn't work out, then I won't be keeping it because I can't keep trying the damn thing out and it not working for me. God, my hair gets in everything. It's kind of annoying. Oof. I'm like a cat, so my hair is a hell of a lot longer. So let's get into some independent brands. So I'm gonna start off with Nomad. I do have 4 different Nomad Cosmetics palettes. I recently fell in love with this brand. I did a video on the Hudson Valley palette. stunning palette. Spoiler, I fucking love it. I'll link that below as well. But this is like the perfect fall palette. See, you can't see that and go, oh my God, it's fucking fall, because that's what I see. But I am going to obviously keep it because I love it. And it is fall currently. I wish I wasn't like such a hoarder that I had to keep the packaging, but I am. So now I have a few more Nomad Cosmetics palettes that I haven't shown on YouTube, but I think I've shared on my Instagram and possibly TikTok. I can't quite remember because I film a lot of content and then I like don't post it. So, but this is the Nomad, oh my God, I cannot pronounce this. Cartagena palette. Oh God, I really hope I didn't. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. There's tons of oranges. You got a little bit of green here and a little bit of pinkish purple. This was my first Nomad Cosmetics palette, and this is like why I bought more. So at the start of like the fall season, this palette I'm going to show you next was on sale, and unfortunately they no longer carry this palette. And this is the Medieval Europe palette, and oh my God, isn't that gorgeous? This is actually what I have on my eyes today. I use Brand Castle, which is like a purpley gray tone, along with Bloody Mary, which is like this beautiful sparkly red, and a little bit of Crumpus, which is this beautiful sparkly purple. So, oh, and the Catacombs, which is this like very intense silver metallic right here. I loved it. I enjoyed myself. So it's kind of sad that this palette's not available anymore, but I'm so glad I picked it up because I definitely love like the vibes of this palette. Oh, it's not Medieval Europe. That's like the destination on the back because all the palettes have a destination. It's the Haunted Europe palette. I am so sorry. I still love it. Keeping that. And then this was a recent purchase, and this is the Costa Rica palette. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it because I cannot. But look how beautiful and bold this palette is. You cannot want to try this palette out. The colors are just so gorgeous. I have not used it yet, and honestly I cannot wait to use it. I am going to a festival this weekend, and this is the palette I will be bringing with me for sure. Man, we are not getting anywhere on this video because now I have 4 more palettes that I am refusing to part with. So I have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Dollhouse, and this is a neutral glam palette. I have used this. I love it. I love the neutral shades that still have color to them in the middle, and then you got beautiful darker shimmers down here and then some lighter pastel shimmers up here. Gorgeous palette, fantastic formula. Like, anytime Blend Bunny Cosmetics come out with anything, I'm like, I'll buy it. Like, no questions asked, I'll buy it. The next one I have from Blend Bunny Cosmetics is Surge, and look at this palette. You got your neons. Like, all of them are really bold. So you got bold neons, but you got bold darks as well. And I love this palette. So next up is the Blend Bunny Primal palette. And look how stunning it is in this palette as well. It's amazing on how all these palettes are so bright and colorful, but they're all different. So love this palette as well. And finally, the last Blend Bunny Cosmetics palette I have is the Palette Blends. And I believe, if I'm correct, this is the first palette that they came out with. And this one is just stunning as well. So definitely recommend all 4 of these palettes. And then I have Moonspell Volume 2, which you can actually still purchase on the website. And I really love this palette. So this one's very witchy as well, but it's a little bit bolder. So you got some purples and some reds. This is one of the first videos I filmed for my channel. And this is the Lunar Beauty Greek Goddess palette. So this is what the palette looks like. His formula is so improved since this palette. I don't really plan on getting rid of it, but this palette was very chalky when I used it. But now that I look at it, it's also kind of boring and it's not very Manny MUA. But I am going to keep it just because I can't part with it. I also like the idea of Greek Goddess. I hope he does what he did with Life's a Drag and kind of like redoes it and amps it up a little bit. Speaking of life's a drag, I do have both. So I'm going to show you the old one first. This is the old one and what it looks like on the inside. And this formula in this palette was very similar to like Greek Goddess. And then here is the new one. So this is Life's a Drag Facelift, which I reach for this palette all the time. I just posted like a short and a TikTok using this palette to like go with the Moonspell Volume 2. But in this one you get so many more shades. I'm gonna put them side by side. But I am gonna keep both because I'm a hoarder. Last 3 palettes. All right. It's kind of nice that I'm almost done. So this is the Strawberry Dream palette, which I love this palette so much. I don't think this one's available to purchase anymore, but okay, this one doesn't smell like strawberries. So I'm thinking Jacqueline. If it's supposed to smell like strawberries, it don't no more. But it is quite a few years old. Should I like not use expired makeup? I mean, it's a powder product, so I'm keeping it. I believe this is last year's like Christmas launch or holiday launch, but this is Eternal Eclipse. And I love how he's like kept this like theme throughout all of these like other palettes. And this is what this one looks like on the inside. This one's like definitely darker, a little bit more sultry, but I really like this really dark blue in this palette, and I'm going to obviously keep it. I told you, like, I'm not going to get rid of any of these last few palettes. Finally, this is the last palette. And this is Lunar Beauty's Nude Prism palette. This is also a very gorgeous palette. You can tell that I have really gone in on these shimmers right here. This palette is absolutely beautiful. And what's really funny about this is, like, obviously I got it when it launched. And then, like, a month later, I got it in BoxyCharm. So, obviously, Sarah got mine. But I was like, man, if I just waited a month, I wouldn't have had to buy it. But, I mean, when I bought this, I also got, like, the lip oils. And every time I make an order, I buy some lashes because I am wearing Lunar Beauty lashes. They are my favorite lashes. Like, I can't remember a time when I've grabbed a different set of lashes. I wear Lunar Beauty's Nova or Luna with every eye look I do. All right, so now I am going to change the position of the camera, change some angles a little bit. You can kind of see this big ass mess in front of me, and I'm going to focus on organizing this makeup into these drawers. Then after I do all of that, we'll go through my maybe pile. All right, so I don't know, I might still like move around some of this as we declutter, or as I declutter more of these drawers. Right now, I kind of just put all of my Jeffree Star Cosmetics in this drawer because there is such bulky palettes and they're kind of difficult to store. But then I also put my Life's a Drag. God, someone's rolling in a grave right now. And my these two palettes. I don't want to part with them, but I really like, I don't ever see myself using them, but they just kind of, I love them. So I put them in here because I probably won't, like, I just need somewhere to put them, and they're big. So I thought, you know, KVD herself and Manny MUA can join Jeffree Star in this drawer. I'm sure someone's like, what the fuck? But put them in there. And here's my more affordable makeup, which is mostly ColourPop, a little bit of Wet n Wild. And here I have all of my Lunar Beauty palettes, my Nomad Cosmetics palettes, my Jacqueline Cosmetics palette, and then the only eyeshadow palette that I actually have from Trixie Mattel. So most of my Trixie Mattel products that I do have are like blushes and face palettes, so, and a few lip products. In here, I kind of put all of my Huda Beauty in here, and then Melt Cosmetics, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Too Faced, and my Patrick Ta palettes in here. And then in this drawer, these are kind of bulky palettes and they're kind of hard to store. So I got all 4 of my Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes here, my Michaela palette here, and then I'm actually going to take this unused but ready to use when I need it, Jeffree Star Blend Bunny palette, and just place it back here. So I'm actually going to put these 2 palettes I have in the drawer towards the back. I have what would be Halloween, Christmas, like themed makeup that like you could use it year round, but I have enough makeup where I can just use it during the holiday that it's for. So that's where I'm going to place those 2 palettes. But that's where I'm going to place those 2 palettes so that way we can go through my maybe pile. And then I'm done with my eyeshadow palettes. So, strange angle, I know. But I am like having a hard time kind of like getting my drawers and myself in the camera at the same time. So you're kind of like above me. So right here is all of my maybe makeup. And this is where I'm going to make the decisions rather yes, no, am I going to keep it? I'll come back to you at the end, I think. This is not going to go very well. Oh, I'm supposed to be keeping this. So I don't know how that ended up here, but this is a keep. Oops. So lay all these palettes out and figure out what I want to do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this Tardius palette right here. So I will not be keeping that. This is like hard because I thought maybe it'd be a lot easier after I put all my other stuff away. I'd be able to choose these palettes to declutter. But I am going to declutter the Palm Springs palette from Too Faced. I'm going to declutter the Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Thunder palette just because this is a mini palette made for BoxyCharm, and I actually, like, I'm not going to use it. I am going to go ahead and keep this Charlotte Tilbury palette and give it a shot because I only just got it in August. It came in a mystery box, but I do want to give it a go. So I will go ahead and keep this palette, and I will just go ahead and put it away with this drawer right here. Same with Plush Like Me. I'm going to keep this palette because I did only just get it in that mystery box. And I should give it a go. So I'm going to put it in my ColourPop drawer. I really wanted to try to get rid of some of these Jeffree Star products. And I'm going to go ahead and just put them in this drawer. I'm not really ready to part with them. And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to sit here and force myself to get rid of something when I'm not ready to, because 1, I have an anxiety disorder, so I'd like to go to sleep tonight. 2, I'm not ready to declutter it. I don't have someone forcing me to get rid of this stuff. I have the space to continue to keep it, so I'm going to keep it. That includes the mini breaker. So this Ofra palette, this looks so pretty. I really want to try it out before I make the decision getting rid of it. I did recently get it in a BoxyCharm, so I think I am going to go ahead and keep it and try it out. So I'm just going to put it in this drawer right here. Oh, these are chalky. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and, that is like my laziness. It's also 11 o'clock at night, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Urban Decay Wired palette. I just don't see any point of keeping it. I am going to go ahead and get rid of this Ditto Cosmetics. I really like the concept. I just don't like the colors. Let me see. Oh, that's nice. I really don't know about that palette. So what's going to make the decision for me on this palette is if I'm going to see if Kiss Me Now Cosmetics is still in business. If they're still in business, I'm going to keep this palette. If they are not in business, I will not keep this palette because there are some really pretty colors in here. Like, those two pinks are gorgeous. This green, very pretty. So I don't know if you can see it, but those are really pretty colors. So I'm going to look on my phone real quick, see if Kiss Me Now Cosmetics is still in business. And if they are, I'll keep it. So it looks like Kiss Me Now Cosmetics is still in business, but it's mostly lashes. Like, there's no eyeshadow products whatsoever on their website. They have like a sugar lip scrub, mink lashes, and hydro gloss. They sell beauty blenders. Yeah, I think it's time for me to go ahead and pass this palette along. So I do have this Norvina palette and this Soft Glam palette. I am going to go ahead and get rid of the Soft Glam palette for sure. And then this Norvina palette is so well loved. I'm going to put it back in my drawer, and if I don't use it by the end of the year, I'll go ahead and declutter it. So I'm going to put a mental note on that one. I feel like looking up the Kiss Me Now Cosmetics online made me feel a little bit better about decluttering it. So I'm going to look up this Ditto brand. This is a BoxyCharm palette. Oh, see, I'd rather get that palette from them. So they have like a whole Galaxy palette. This palette is showing up as coming soon on their website. So weird. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this. And I think what I might do is purchase this one for myself instead. So it's much more colorful. I get to try the formula, and it's the same concept, but just like so much prettier. So I will be passing that along. Man, I feel so good right now. Okay, so the last two I have the Dominique Cosmetics Now or Never Pressed Pigment Palette. And of course, like the two last palettes I have are two tiny, tiny palettes. So this is like super small. But it has some really pretty pinks in here, so I am going to try, I'm going to apply the same rule I did to the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. If I don't use it by the end of the year, so that gives me 2 months to use it, which is plenty of time. If I do not use it by then, I am going to pass it along. So, and then I have this Natasha Denona palette. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Now, I did declutter some Natasha Denona minis already, and Sarah's already dug through the basket and taken them. But, I mean, she can take what she wants out of that basket as long as it doesn't end up back in my area, like in my makeup storage, because then I'll never get rid of stuff. So, keeping this one, got rid of Natasha Denona. Alright, so I'm going to put all of this aside for her to go through. But these are all the palettes that I am decluttering. So out of 132 palettes that I own, I got rid of 26 palettes, which still puts my collection at over 100, but it makes me feel a lot better that it's just barely over 100. I say this as I'll still keep ordering makeup, but I feel like things are better organized. I'm not hoarding crap that I don't need anymore. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I am going to continue decluttering my collection even if you don't like this video. So tough titty said the kitty. And but until next time, bye y'all.